Well, sidewalk improvements are underway on Desiard Street in downtown Monroe. Devontae Martin joins us with the details. Devontae?
Jennifer, the city has begun this repair of sidewalks on Desiard, beginning on 6th Street, spanning to the Endom Bridge.
Sometimes it's not always easy to park and go from place to place, but with the sidewalk improvements, it's going to be so much better.
Harley Aronson, owner of Good Days on Art Alley, says the sidewalk renovations will improve traffic in downtown Monroe. Construction started Monday on sidewalks on Desiard Street, beginning on 6th Street, and eventually all the way down to the Endom Bridge. The project will last about 4 months and cost more than $1.6 million. Project manager Morgan McAllister says the project will fix several overdue problems.
What's included in that is some much needed drainage repair, brand new travel surface, asphalt, some beautification components. Are going to be landscaping throughout this corridor.
He also says it will help with the economic development of downtown Monroe.
You begin adding these type of features in the downtown area, people want to gather, people want to be able to congregate, and so we're going to have downtown sidewalk cafes in some of these locations at the discretion of the owner, working with the city.
City officials say the construction will not affect traffic for the most of the project. Their goal is to be finished in August. Jennifer?